Hi, I'm David Whitehill, and for the last 20 years, the United Nations Children's Fund and Qantas have worked together to help improve the lives of vulnerable children around the world. I've joined a combined Qantas UNICEF team who have travelled here to Cambodia in Southeast Asia to experience some of the vital work that UNICEF are doing in the field. After decades of war, peace has finally returned to Cambodia. But when you arrive, it's clear that there are two sides to this amazing country. On one hand, Cambodia welcomes the world with millions of tourists visiting the ancient temples of Angkor Wat every year. On the other hand, the Cambodian people continue to struggle through poverty and deprivation, while it remains one of the poorest nations on earth.
UNICEF began its operation in Cambodia in 1952. And we've had an office in Phnom Penh from 1973, got kicked out by the Khmer Rouge from 75 to 79, but then we came back straight away. Even though the country was under international embargo and so on, there were still children who had needs. And now we've had 30 years of unbroken cooperation with the Cambodian government and the Cambodian people.
UNICEF Australia is there really to fundraise and to advocate for the rights of children, and it's our job to make everyone aware of just how well off we are in Australia and some of the tragic issues that are going around in the world. Not just emergencies, but here in places like Cambodia where they haven't got basic sanitation, basic water supplies. Those are the kind of things that UNICEF really gets involved in. They have scale, they deal with important issues, they can really get to the hardest cases, and I think that's the important message. Change for Good's been a remarkable programme for UNICEF. It started in 1991 and it came from the people within Qantas themselves. The cabin crew said, hey, we've got an idea that I think could really fly. And UNICEF are standing here 20 years later with $22 million contributed by Qantas passengers. It's just amazing.
The great thing about working for UNICEF as an ambassador is you get a chance to see how the Change for Good program is put into practice in various countries, and the enormous bang for your buck that you get from the UNICEF Change for Good program. And when you come to, say, northern Cambodia, where we are at the moment, is the great progress that's being made with UNICEF's help in obviously infant mortality rates dropping, in better education, in better health outcomes for the children and the parents who live in this particular part of the world.
Cambodia has one of the youngest populations in Southeast Asia, so ensuring those children are given the best care and opportunities is vital. Our first stop in Kampong Tom is to see a rural schooling program that helps mothers educate their children at home.
So in Cambodia today there is a huge issue with education. What we have here is an early learning centre, a group where mothers come together with their children as young as 6 months or 1 year, and from 3 to 5 it's really focused on the early steps of learning letters, learning counting, and it's so important that children start this young before they go to school at 6.
The people are just so warm and they're so friendly and so giving in terms of their time talking to us as well. But you know, they're very grateful for the support that they get. But I think it's a very humbling experience, quite honestly.
Access to clean water and improved sanitation is critical to reducing the spread of diarrhoea, the leading cause of death for children under the age of 5.
Now here at our second stop, we get to one of the problems in Cambodia. Obviously you can see water everywhere, especially in the wet season, but most of this water is not good for human consumption, carries all sort of waterborne illnesses like diarrhoea and so on. What the villagers have to do is, in these rural areas, is dig wells. And there's two-pronged attack here, trying to improve the quality of the water and trying to encourage the villagers, with the help of UNICEF and the Change for Good program, to remember to wash their hands so as they don't spread the bugs around.
The Water Sanitation and Hygiene program supplies basic water purification devices and concrete wells that provide clean water for bathing and drinking. Sharing the message of good sanitation is just as important.
We were on a march and we walked with the school children around the village, and they were talking about and communicating to people in the village about the importance of washing hands, using the latrine. So they were sanitation messages to people in the village.
This primary school is a perfect opportunity to see how the schools in Cambodia operate. At the core of UNICEF's school enrolment campaign is the principle that every child has the right to an education, and the knowledge that quality schooling reduces poverty and helps children reach their potential. For this class, coming to school and learning English is giving them skills that will provide access to opportunities later in life. We finish our visit to Cambodia at the Kampong Tom Referral Hospital to meet some of the patients and see the conditions the doctors and nurses work with every day. Medical facilities in Cambodia can be rudimentary at best. One of the wards has a very special purpose. This is one of the UNICEF-supported programs that treats children and their parents coping with the effects of HIV and AIDS. Tragically, young people in Cambodia are amongst the most at risk of HIV and AIDS. However, UNICEF's health program provides facilities that include counselling and testing to assist in the prevention of mother-to-child transmissions, proven to be one of the most successful ways of curbing the epidemic. The overall objective here is to reduce the number of new HIV infections, especially amongst children, and to reduce the impact of the disease on families with treatment and care.
3 of the cabin crew that we are with and myself, we handed a number of soft toys over to children with HIV, and to see their faces light up, that was a true moment where not only did we see the difference that donations are making, but also it was an opportunity for us, I guess, to be giving of something firsthand, and seeing what a difference that makes as well was truly a moment that, you know, I don't think I'll ever forget.
There is still a lot to be done, and it's important that we keep the Change for Good funding coming into, you know, rural Cambodia and into these very positive projects that we've seen over the last few days. You know, $1 goes a long way here, so there's a lot that can be done if we keep supporting it through Change for Good.
The Change for Good program has already raised over $22 million. So whenever you fly Qantas, make sure you look for the Change for Good envelope in your headset pack, and the cabin crew will collect your donations by the end of the flight. Without the generosity of Qantas customers, UNICEF's work in child protection, health and education simply wouldn't be possible. So on behalf of Qantas, UNICEF, and of course the kids, we thank you so very much for your kind donation. You ready? 1, 2, 3,